Hey everybody, my name is AJ Casillas and I'm here today to show you how to use Microsoft Publisher. We'll be training you today on the very basic skills and how to get it going, and I want you to expect to learn how to open and operate basic functions of Microsoft Publisher, such as inserting and manipulating pictures, adjusting fonts, and adjusting leveling to create a colorful professional background. Now, why would I even want to use Microsoft Publisher, you may ask? Microsoft Publisher is easy to use. It comes with the Microsoft Office suite, and it has a lower learning curve than some of the other graphic design programs out there, like Photoshop especially, and Adobe Illustrator. Because it comes with Microsoft Office, it's installed on most Office computers nowadays. I don't know of a single Office that doesn't run Microsoft Office now, and you can most likely find Microsoft Publisher in there and really wow and amaze the people you work with your great graphic design skills. So with that, this program is for working professionals, managers that have to do a lot of their own marketing materials, or even employees who are asked to make a marketing material by their manager. Microsoft Publisher is a great program to do that with. So the mission in my video today is to get you, the student, able to create a very basic flyer with Microsoft Publisher, marketing your organization's national conference. We'll call it your organization's national conference. That's that whole name we'll be talking about today. Now, my foreword before we begin is that I'm going to be using Windows 7 as my operating system. Everything you see on here is through a Windows-based operating system, Windows 7 specifically, and I'm using Microsoft Office 365, which is also known as Microsoft Office 2013. They changed the name for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but just know that Microsoft Office 2013 and 365 are the same thing. Now, I also assume that the person watching this video has a working knowledge of Microsoft Office and Microsoft Word. If you don't, that's okay. I'm going to make sure to clearly explain everything that I go through, so even if you don't know the difference between a paragraph and a bullet point, you'll still be okay to get all this done. Now, let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to switch screens, and then we're going to go ahead and walk through everything right now.
So, we're going to go ahead and find where Publisher is located on your computer. So it's included in Microsoft Office, and it's a little green symbol with a P. It's right here. You can find it on your Start menu if you use it a lot. And you can also find it on all programs under Microsoft Office 2013 or whatever your year is, under Publisher 2013. I'm going to go ahead and open it. After it opens, it's going to ask you which publication you would like to make. Now, in Publisher lingo, a publication is what we came here to do, which is create a flyer. We're going to go ahead and double click on 8.5 by 11. I realize flyers is down here, but I like to create my own custom designs, I guess you can call them. So we're going to go ahead and choose 8.5 by 11. An important note is choose the right size in the beginning. Microsoft Publisher does not scale text or graphics at all if you were to adjust the size later on. So if you're going to make a flyer 8.5 by 11, start that way. If you're going to go ahead and make a business card, start at a 3.5 by 5 inch to get it right at the forefront. Otherwise, you're going to run into a whole mess of errors or problems at the end of this. So now that we have it open, I'm going to go ahead and explain to you that this right here is your canvas. This white sheet is your canvas. I'll be calling it that from now on. Now, it's also called a publication because that's what we're doing. These blue border lines right here are your margin lines. Microsoft Word forces you to type within margin lines. Microsoft Publisher merely has margin lines as a suggestion. If you put anything inside of it, it's going to assure that you're not going to run into effects such as ink bleeding, which is when your text or graphics are so far close to the edge of either another graphic or the edge of a paper where the printer smears them because it's not fine enough to get those very, very fine details of differences in color. And so stay within your lines. Anything outside of the margin lines will still be shown, but it's a good idea just to stay within them. Anything outside of the canvas won't be on your final print. So if you need to use it as scratch area, feel free. All this gray area is there for you to use. You have infinite amount of space. So now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and talk about the rulers. On the top and left side of the ruler are the rulers. You'll notice they're more detailed than they are in Microsoft Word. You can see them right here, 8.5 by 11. That's 11. They're detailed because in graphic design, like we're doing here, you need to have your spacing correct, and that involves eighths and sixteenths of an inch. Whereas in Microsoft Word, I believe it's only broken down in 1/4 inches and up to 1/8 of an inch. So it's very important to have these things. If you want to create a horizontal guide, you can go ahead and left click on it and pull it down like this. Left click, pull it over like that, and that way you can line up something right there on the corner. It's really handy. I'll show you how to do it later. So the ribbon. This is the ribbon right up here on top. Everything up here. It contains all the buttons you're going to use, and think of it as kind of like a filing cabinet. So home includes all the buttons I can use, including draw text box, pictures, table. Insert includes picture, online pictures, shapes, picture placeholder, and all of these fun guys. As do the other ones, they contain different things. But for us today, we're going to go ahead and be looking at right now inserting pictures. So now we need to go ahead and find all our work materials first before we work. So let's go ahead and find some graphics. Now, make sure that your graphics are in JPEG format. That's JPEG, Jerry, Paul, Epsilon, Gary. Epsilon's not a name, but that's okay. Don't get me for that. And we want it to be like that because Publisher supports a lot of different file formats, but JPEG is the easiest and most universal to use, so we're going to go ahead and use JPEG. Now that we're looking at this, we want to go ahead and insert a picture, a JPEG picture that we have on our desktop. I'm going to go ahead and find it right here. I have some saved already. We're going to go ahead and use Man Reaching for Sun because we want to achieve big things in our lives, and why not reach for the stars, the biggest star, which is the sun. So then insert your graph or your image into the document right there. You can move it, but I'll explain how to do that in just a second. So when you have a graphic, you can work with it. I can move it, I can rotate it, I can size it, and you can do it with any one of these shapes right here on the sides, just like that. So the circle can be used to rotate, and the other shapes can be used to manipulate the shape and transform it. Just make sure that your shape is active by having the shapes around it. Inactive, active. So although a picture is very important, the best thing to have is text. Now to have text, go ahead and go to Insert, and you need to draw a text box. And it can be anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and put it right here on the graphic, and I'll say hello on the graphic. I'll also draw another one down here on the bottom so you guys can see it, just demonstrating you can have it anywhere. There we go. Now that's too small, and unless your people have a magnifying glass to read that, we need to increase the font size. So under the Home or the Format Text Box Tools tab, you can find font size. It's right there. I can go ahead and just left click the number, type it in, and press enter, and it'll go ahead and change that size. So you can see it like that. It's changing shape, which is good. So now that we have these things, we want to polish the graphic. So now we're going to need to go ahead and add some color to the background. We're going to go to Insert, Shapes, Rectangle, because we have a rectangle canvas. I'm going to position my crosshair. It's come back. It's here to kill some more out of this project and really knock it out of the park. So we're going to go ahead and position it right up here on top. And we're going to left click and drag across the bottom, just like that. Now I'm going to right click that, and I'm going to format this auto shape. It's an auto shape, so when the context menu pops up, format auto shape. The format auto shape dialog box pops up. Colors and lines is the first tab you're on. Stick there, you're good. Under the fill subcategory, go to color. Under color, let's change it to something kind of fun. Let's say peach. Make it a nice fleshy color. So now it's a cool fleshy color, but I can't see anything that I have in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and send it backwards. Under the Home tab, I can go ahead and hit send backward. As long as it's the active shape, go ahead and send backward. I can see everything that I have there now. So that was real quick the basic skills you need to use Microsoft Publisher with. And with these basic things, I'm going to show you what you can actually have a finished copy of. So let's go ahead and switch to a finished copy. Here's your finished copy right here. So this is real quick if you want to do just the basic skills you have. Everything I did right here, I've shown you how to do already except for bullet points. And the only thing that I showed you that's on here that I didn't show you how to do was create word art like this, where it's arced in this fashion. But that's okay. I had to be more up here to make it more dynamic, like he's achieving greater success, which is what we want to do in our lives. So that's how you do it. If you need anything else, feel free to contact me. You can go ahead and find me at this information right here. This is my business card. I also created with Microsoft Publisher just to show you some other flexible things that it can do. And go ahead and feel free to contact me. I can encourage you to email me at agentcasillas@onemail.com. You can check out my Google site to see more of the work that I've done. And you can also connect with me on LinkedIn. I love to be connected and stay in touch. So thank you all for tuning in and hearing my training video. And I would love to talk to you in the future. Thank you so much. Agent Casillas signing off.